District Digest continues with a special feature. Here's Leanne Zinzer.
Our final guest on District Digest is Britt, the Director of Copyright Compliance for Soundzabound Music. And Barry, welcome to Collier County.
Thanks, Leanne. My pleasure to be here.
You were brought here to talk to media specialists and actually conduct a workshop about copyright issues.
Yeah, we just finished doing that. We had a very talkative audience, so it must have been a hot topic. And what we were doing today was helping them understand what they can and cannot do with music, especially in the classroom, both for teachers and students, so that they can avoid copyright infringements at the school site.
So it's really important that we as educators are up on latest copyright laws.
Oh, very much so, especially in this day and age whenever the example I gave them today is we have a car called technology that drives 160 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And the laws are still designed with a 35-mile-per-hour speed limit. And so we have to let them know that just because the technology car goes that fast, that doesn't necessarily mean they can do it. And so it's helping them to get a grasp of how to go about finding copyright-safe resources and how to spot a copyright infringement in their classroom.
Now, I know that teachers are using the internet, all kinds of sources for presentations, for projects for the students. What about fair use? Isn't there something that as educators we can use? There's something that deals with fair use if we're just using a small piece of something? Yeah,
absolutely. And fair use is one of those things that has been terribly misquoted. Basically, someone took one little paragraph out of fair use and then spread that as gospel, so to speak. Fair use is a maze, and it's a very complicated maze that was written in 1997. As a matter of fact, the Conference on Fair Use, which is known as CONFU, not Kung Fu, but CONFU, they gathered in 97 to establish guidelines for multimedia and education. Well, remember I said the car that we drive is 2007 and it goes 160? The guidelines were written in 1997. They're terribly outdated at this point. And since the guidelines were written, you know, you've had technology emerging such as YouTube and MySpace and, you know, the ability to make a video and broadcast it across the world. And so just because it's dated makes fair use a very dangerous place to live. But even the way you're supposed to document for fair use, people don't understand how to do it. Another important aspect about fair use is it's really designed for one-time use in a face-to-face situation, like face-to-face education, and it really has to be geared toward your core curriculum. But the way people use music in their videos, that's not seen as being applicable to the core curriculum.
So what do we do? How do we fix things?
Well, today was a great start because we come in and we educate the educators about what they can and cannot do. And us being ASCAP members, yet educators, yet people that come from the music side, we understand how to shoot that right down the middle for them. And so by having us out to educate them is an important part. They can also visit our website at soundzabound.com and click on the copyright compliance area and even see a live broadcast that I did of the copyright workshop. And another thing that they can do is have copyright safe resources. Say, for example, Collier County owns 4 volumes of our royalty-free music that we provide as a product by Soundzabound so that they can be copyright compliant. Very, very important.
So the problem, it's not that, okay, you got to stop using music, you can't use video, any of that. That's not the issue. You just have to use the right sources.
You have to use the right sources, and if you feel like you've got to have We Will Rock You, you know, that one, or you feel like you need a particular piece of music, even if you feel like it's geared toward your curriculum, you really need to get written permission. And if you don't have it in writing, you don't have permission. That's the safe way these days.
Now, you mentioned that a lot of these copyright laws, they were written years ago. Is there anything that's going to be done to update them with the move that technology has taken, or are they the way they are? I mean, is there any kind of a group that looks at that?
Well, the laws haven't really changed, but the technology has, and fair use guidelines were what was established in '97. But there's really no plan for people to go back and visit that. Everybody's afraid they'll lose ground. Nobody really wants to return to that, you know, to come back to Kung Fu,
right.
Confu, and try to renegotiate this. Maybe something will happen in time, but until the laws change, we have to adhere to the law. So we not only have a legal responsibility, we also have an ethical responsibility to practice what we preach. And especially when it comes to ownership, if we don't own it, we don't use it, and we don't need to be teaching students to use other people's things if we don't have permission. And one day, they will go on to create works, and they'll want to get paid for them. Okay. And if we're going to keep our credibility, we have to practice what we preach with the students.
And Barry, this all carries over to our homes as well.
Yes.
I mean, that's a huge aspect.
Yeah, well, we talked earlier. I have a teenage daughter who's 14. You have teenage kids. And I was very emphatic about that in the workshop today, that, yeah, I'm here to help you protect your school site and your school system from infringement. But let's talk about the home, because there have been parents and students, or I should say kids, sued. And you don't want to be one of those parents. So if you have, for example, illegal peer-to-peer sharing on your home computer, such as LimeWire or Kazaa, get rid of it. And case last week in Minneapolis it was the first lawsuit that went to trial, where the lady was busted for using Kazaa. So yeah, protect our homes and protect your kids first and foremost.
Great. Well, I mean, obviously you spent a whole day on the workshop, and we're only spending 6 minutes, so I know there's so much more, but thank you for just sharing the high points and the important aspects.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me, Leanne.
And we'd like to thank all of our guests on District Digest, and we'd like to thank you for watching. For Joe Landon and everyone here on the Education Channel, I'm Leanne Zinzer. We'll see you next time.
Join us again next time for District Digest, your inside look at the Collier County Public School District.
Hey kids, where's Joe?
He's sick today.
Oh, come on, guys, not again.
Don't you get left behind. Get on the bus and head for the School Zone. Catch School Zone on the Education Channel.
Get up, get up, get move.
Let's run, have fun, let's jump and groove. Get up and get that body up, make it move.
Get up, and be a move.
Get up and play an hour a day.
Ouch! For cool playtime ideas, go online. Just don't stay long.
Recycling a glass bottle saves an